Hey everybody, Chuck here. We've got an amazing episode today, but before we jump into that, I'd like to ask you to please hit the pause button and either make a note for yourself to follow up or just directly pop over to your social media or soaring forum of choice and help spread the word about this show to your friends or user groups that you know are interested in aviation or soaring. We invest a lot of our time into this show and for no financial gain. We're doing this to help grow interest and participation in the sport of soaring around the world, and we can't do it without your help. Only a handful of you contribute via Patreon, but that's okay. You can help in other ways, like spreading the word about this podcast. Thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoy this episode.
Cumberland traffic, Coastline 4041 uniform, departing 11 glider south.
What's it like flying right on the coast and you're over the ocean and where do you land and if the wind stops? What's that like?
Yeah, at the beginning it's really some kind of strange because you are flying above the ocean and also the outlanding possibilities, as you already told.
This is Soaring the Sky, a glider pilot's podcast, coming to you from the Mid-Atlantic region here in the United States and bringing you great soaring content from glider pilots all over the globe. We now join Chuck and our guest pilot.
Hello and welcome to another episode. We told you we had some exciting things planned for 2022. And yes, we've already had some great episodes this year. And this one, I'm telling you, is no exception. Now, today we have the pleasure to bring you two great glider pilots who also have the highest viewed gliding videos on the planet, totaling nearly 85 million views. So grab your favorite beverage, sit back and enjoy hearing Bruno Vassel and Stefan Langer as they meet for the very first time and share their experiences and stories with us right here on Soaring the Sky.
Hey everybody, this is Bruno Vassel IV, and I am today's guest host for Soaring the Sky podcast. And today I am here with Stefan. Is it Langer? How do you pronounce your last name?
Langer.
Oh,
yeah,
love it.
That's totally fine.
American accent, Langer.
Yeah,
well,
I'm
here with Stefan, and really excited to first of all meet you. It's really nice to meet you.
Yeah,
and,
first time that we meet each other.
Yes. So I think we've communicated a couple of times, just commenting on each other's videos or things. Yeah, really nice to meet you, and looking forward to getting to know you better. So first of all. Stefan, I notice a little bit of an accent. So are you from Chicago, New York? Where are you from?
I'm from Germany and I'm trying to speak English somehow. And I have no plan about any accents. And also, other languages like French and so on, they are not perfect.
There you go. Well, I don't speak German, or else we'd be doing this interview in German. But I do have a little helper. So let me see if I can do. Here we go. Sorry, I'm not cool enough to speak in German because I went to an English school in the United States. Here we go.
Tut mir leid, dass ich nicht cool genug bin, Deutsch zu sprechen, weil ich eine Englischschule in den Vereinigten Staaten besucht habe.
There you go. Is that pretty good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. What's we don't voice than yours?
Yeah, we don't need to speak English or German or anything. All right. Well, hey, let's jump into this because super excited to better understand what makes Stefan tick. And the reason why we're talking is let's at least introduce you a little bit. So Stefan, he is a YouTube gliding star. In fact, I don't know of anybody else that has more video views on YouTube or probably any kind of social media than Stefan does. I was taking a look this morning, and as of this morning, he has his gliding videos have been viewed over 51 million times. And he has 165,000 subscribers. So congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
But you also did great. At least I think till 1 year ago, we were like at the same level. And at the beginning, you were a giant. You had so many subscribers and so many more views and so on. So I thought at 100,000 subscribers at this level, we will meet somewhere.
Yep.
and then I took the lead.
You did.
And,
Well, you've been making
yeah.
amazing content. So yeah, I'm just a little bit over 100,000 subscribers, and I think I'm at like 34 million views. But what's cool about that is the two of us combined, we are over. We're close to 85 million views. And what's cool about that is not for us, but for the gliding community and in the world is people are seeing gliders flying, and you're introducing to millions of people the amazing sport of gliding. So really cool stuff. So fun stuff.
And I think you were the first one who reached such a wide audience. So there you are the number one. And
Wow.
you also helped me a lot to push these videos, because you made this audience with these million views. And then if a video with a similar topic is also picking up, the algorithm suggests other videos and so on. So we help each other to grow, I would say. Every other creator, YouTuber, and gliding YouTuber is good for all of us, because we push more this gliding video stuff on the
Excellent.
internet.
And we're going to talk about that a little bit more towards the end of this, a little bit about making videos and how do you get seen. But going back to, I think, really the pioneers, I have to give a shout out to Matt Wright. Is it Baleka? And he inspired me, and he and I for a couple of years were neck and neck making videos, and he made an amazing video. So shout out to Matt, and we miss you, buddy. And you were talking about content, and actually yours and my content are a little bit different. So like, for example, one of my videos would be like, why did my glider shrink over the wintertime? Or, maybe if I complain a lot, I can go faster. Yet you are doing these epic, ridge or beach flying things, or you're flying, old gliders. So it's fun to see that each person has different type of content and a little bit different styles, and that's what keeps it fresh and interesting. So it's fun. Yeah. Well, let's just jump right in, and first of all, let's get to know you a little bit better. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. How old are you? What do you do for work? Do you work? Do you just make videos? Do you have any hobbies outside of gliding? Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm now 29 years old. I have, I think, about 2,300 gliding hours so far. I started gliding with the age of 14, so that's the earliest age where you can start here in Germany. And I experienced many different kinds of competitions, flew in many different countries already, and that's what I try to capture also on the videos. Other hobbies than gliding. I think you also know that it is a lot of power which you put into the hobby gliding, a lot of time and so on. I try to ride mountain bike and race bike as well. And then every year I'm at a vacation with non-gliding friends as well. So these are the things I do off topic from gliding, I would say, but there's not so much time left anymore.
Yeah, it makes sense. What do you do for work?
I studied mechanical engineering. The studies took relatively long, but I finished them with a bachelor thesis. And then I decided to make a half a year that I don't work, so that I take off after the studies, because I was participating in the Junior World Gliding Championships this year. I think it was 2017 or so in Lithuania. And
wait a second, so you can participate when you're 29 years old in the junior?
No.
Yeah, you're cheating.
It was.
How'd you tell them you were? You had to shave your beard.
In the year 2017 when I participated, and there I was already, I think, 25 years old or so.
Okay.
Yeah, this might work out somehow with the dates. Yeah, and there at this time, there was the Open Vario project. It's an open source glide computer project where I was involved a little bit also during my studies. And then some of the developers had the idea that it would be great to have someone selling these devices, the hardware for the Open Vario glide computer, because there might be some other software developers who want to join. There are a lot of other people who don't have the knowledge of soldering, electronics, and sourcing all the parts. And that was the beginning when I started this kind of business. The brand name is Stefly. And that's, I would say, my main job at the moment, but also YouTube is nearly half of the part already. And I love doing these videos. I love flying gliders and so on. So it's perfect to to make all this flying videos and so on. So,
No, it's fantastic because people have asked me, why don't you do more videos and things? And the reality is I've got a wife and 3 kids and a very busy job and just don't have the time. So it's fantastic that you can dedicate so much time to it. And again, you do a great job. So, good. Well, let's kind of start at the beginning. What got you even into wanting to do gliding videos? Did you just, you were gliding and you just threw a camera in and put it up, or did you think, you know what, I'm going to be the world's #1 gliding video producer? Did you have a goal at the beginning? How'd you get started?
I did not really had a goal at the beginning. I've seen videos from you, from Matt Wright, from Baleka, and others, also other YouTubers or YouTube videos from other sports as well, and so on. And there I had some idols, I would say. And at the beginning it was more, I wanted to show my friends in the school and just friends who are not familiar with gliding, that they can get into this hobby and see what I'm doing and where I'm flying, and perhaps at a competition in a different country and so on. So at the beginning it was more to show others, also non-glider pilots in my from the family and friends, that they see what I'm doing there. And then I had good possibilities to get to Namibia, to South Africa, and so on. I think that was a good starting point to make more, let's say, interesting videos also for the gliding community, because it's these are areas where not all the glider pilots from Germany go to and fly there. So something new to show to others. And from time to time, it developed that it was more and more fun also to see as well these the wider audience. But I think 2019, this was the year when it was getting more serious, I would say, from the views, from the subscribers and so on. So it's only 2, perhaps 3 years ago when it really started to get some kind of a smaller job. And,
That sounds familiar. For me, for example, I started filming in my Phoebus. I mean, this was a long time ago, and it was really, I just have so much fun in the air. I thought it would be neat to relive it, and so I'll take a camera with me. And this was more just a personal thing. And then, got an ASW-20 and started doing some longer flights and recording it. Again, it was not thinking really of sharing it with the world, but I thought, I'll just throw it up on YouTube to save it, as a platform. And then people started watching it, and then it just, exploded like you. So it sounds like both of us, it was just kind of a personal thing. And then the world took interest, and we thought, we'll just do some more.
Yes, that's totally true. It's really fun.
So speaking about flying around the world, you have done, way more than me. I pretty much only fly in my backyard, it seems like. Let's start with Namibia. So it's the airport is Veronica, correct?
Yes, I was at Bitterwasser and at Veronica. So two different airfields. At the beginning, we were in Bitterwasser. There we had a project called Flying with the Youngsters. So younger German good pilots trained other pilots who didn't fly in Namibia, so they get coached a little bit in this area and so on. This was the project why I was in Namibia. And of course, it it was a little bit cheaper to be there. We didn't need to rent the glider. But then I also had the opportunity to fly the Twin Shark in Veronica as well. And it was also really great to see other airfield there, because Bitterwasser, it's a huge pan. I think they call it salt pan or so. So it's a dry area, which is about 2 to even 3 kilometers in diameter. So really huge area where you can start with your glider in every direction and land in every direction. That's really great. But Veronica is more the normal ground or sand ground. I don't know how to call it. I think Veronica feels more like Namibia from the dunes and from the sand color and everything. And Bitterwasser is just something really special and different, also with the palms, with the palm-ali and everything. Yeah.
So it sounds like if you're going to go down to Namibia, you need to go visit both, because you get a little bit different experience from both.
Yes, I would say it's the best if you can have a look at both. There are also some, I think 2 or 3 more, which I weren't there. So there's even something other than that. I think the Bitterwasser, it's the biggest one, and you also need to want that you are with, let's say, 80 other people, 80 other pilots in the restaurant and so on there. So it's a big crowd there. It is fun if you like to be in a huge with so many other people. Yeah. But in Veronica, it's a little bit smaller, more familiar, and yeah. So both have their ups and downs. I think from the price point, it's nearly the same. The biggest numbers are the renting fees for the gliders,
sure,
and the habitation and everything. I think there's not a big difference.
Okay. So while you were there, you were flying a Twin Shark at least some of the time, and I know you did a review on the Twin Shark. Just really quickly, your final analysis for those people that haven't seen those videos. What's it like to fly a Twin Shark?
It's really great to fly. You can, let's say, compare it somehow with the Arcus. I would say some details are a little bit better. Some others are not as good. Perhaps if it's an advantage or not, I don't know. The fuselage is a little bit smaller, so the rear pilot, the co-pilot, has a little bit less space to sit in there.
So I could fit one leg into the rear.
Yeah. So perhaps for you, it's not the best to sit in the rear seat, but it is really a great manufactured glider. The front seat is perhaps even wider than in the Arcus. And the wings, the shape of the wings, it's an elliptical wing, so it looks different. I've heard so many people, they say the Twin Shark looks awful because of the shape and it doesn't look nice and so on. But if you get used to the look, if you fly the glider, you think, well, why does these champired gliders have these edges in the wing? It can't be good for the aerodynamics and so on. So I think it's something you need to experience and learn, and also the complete flying experience, the forces on the stick and everything. It's really, really well developed and designed. Also the manufacturing quality, there's nothing which looks bad. And this was the prototype which we were flying. So I think it's a great alternative to the other double-seaters on the market. From the glide ratio and performance, I'm not sure if there's a big difference and so on. But also with these double-seaters, usually you fly them in other countries like Namibia, South Africa, and you want to have this experience with a second person, and it's not always about the best performance in a competition. So
Okay, yeah.
was
Now,
an amazing
speaking of
experience.
best performance, though, you got to see the you pronounced it interesting. It's the Nimita, or how do you say it?
I just call it like we call it in Germany, Nim Eta, but your pronunciation is the better one for
The Nimita.
English.
So this is up to a 31 meter wide wing glider. There's only one in the world, and if I understood you correctly, I love the owner's name. His first name is
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
So it's
Bruno
Bruno something.
Gantenbrink. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that glider. This is I guess you could say the biggest glider in the world. What was that like to see in person?
Just Soaring, the makers of the Glider Sim Pro sailplane simulator cockpit, would like to congratulate German pilot Ben Fest for his recent victory in the first ever FAI-sanctioned aviation esports event in history, the Sailplane World Grand Prix, which Ben won after several days of exciting competition against some of the top Condor soaring pilots from around the world. If you are looking for a best-in-class dedicated sailplane simulator cockpit for Condor or Microsoft Flight Sim, look no further than the Just Soaring Glider Sim Pro. Check them out at justsoaring.com or at just.soaring on Instagram.
It was really amazing to see, especially with this, let's say, more narrow runway and the trees on the side. It looks really kind of sketchy to see this glider start there and land there. The wings are so flexible on the ground if there's no air flow or no, if it doesn't have any airspeed, then the wings are nearly on the ground. It just looks unreal, I would say. But seeing this glider then in the air, I have met Bruno sometimes in the air because you are flying in the same area there, and it looks great, really outstanding, and
Could you quickly see the difference between his glider and yours as you were flying together, or not necessarily?
It was once I met him when I flew the Ventus 3 from Bitterwasser, and there I thought, oh, my Ventus is not so bad, or this Ventus is not so bad compared to the Nim Eta. But afterwards, when I was in Veronica, because he was staying there at this time, I heard that he was flying without water ballast. So he was completely empty, and this huge wing area and wingspan without the wing loading, for sure it is completely different, and you can't compare it with a Ventus 3 with 600 kilograms of
he's smart, because anytime somebody beats me, I just say, "Oh, I was dry." So it's a great excuse. All right. So other places you've flown around the world, I've seen videos from you in, for example, New Zealand or the Alps. So let's jump to New Zealand. So it looks like you got to be there during a competition, or tell us about that experience.
It was before the pandemic in 2000, I think 19, beginning of 2020. I was in New Zealand at Drury Gliding Club near Auckland. It's on the Northern Island, yes. And there was at a competition. It was some kind of funny competition because there were not so strict rules like we do here in Germany, and like the international rules, because it was more like you should turn some points, but you don't need to turn or fly to them, and you need to make the biggest distance of the day from the old sea routes and so on. So it was funny to see that they also have some other more fun competition forms than we do here. So
it's not only serious.
Yes,
it's fun too.
I took it really serious, I would say, a little bit too serious sometimes. That was really fun. And the best thing from this organization there was that some days the weather conditions were not so good there at the airfield, and they just took the trailer with a car and they drove to the mountain ridges somewhere or to the coastline, and then we took off at a different airfield, and we had a lot of fun flying at this day. And from the other airport, from Drury, it wouldn't be possible to make a flight at this day. So
So the bad weather actually was good for us because we got to see you be crazy on the coastline. So you've got a video of flying low, right over the ocean and the breaking waves, right on the coastline. And what was that like? Because I mean, we've seen a couple of videos. I don't know if it's up in the Netherlands or Holland or something. They do that sometimes up there. But what's it like flying right on the coast and you're over the ocean and where do you land? And if the wind stops, what's that like?
Yeah, at the beginning, it's really some kind of strange because you are flying above the ocean, and also the outlanding possibilities, as you already told, were not great always. So there are different spots where you can land at the beach as well, but it's not great to get the glider back in the trailer and back to the airfield. But then if you fly there for, let's say, 2 hours or even more, then it is usual for you that the lift is generated by the wind at the cliffs, and the spots where you can expect a little bit of better lift and so on. So I think it's a little bit of risk as well, because you get used to it. You think it always works, and you don't think about what happens if the wind stops or anything like this. So but the experience, of course, the stress level is higher than flying here in Germany in the flatlands, where you are high above the ground. So I think also I'm enjoying the videos even more than I enjoyed flying there at this moment, because it is a little bit more.
You don't have the stress and you can just enjoy it.
Yeah, but it was such an amazing experience. I can't believe it, even if I watch the videos these days. So great to do things like this.
I got to give you a hard time. You mentioned that in Germany you fly high above the ground. So here in Utah, if we are 3,000 meters above the ground, we feel low. so anyway, just yes. Everything's relative, right?
Yeah, but you should also come to New Zealand and fly there on the Northern Island. And
I have
really low.
I have Facebook friends in New Zealand, and they say, Bruno, keep coming down, and I want to, but haven't gotten there yet. Someday, plan on doing it.
Yeah, I've seen a video from Simon Gold, or you sent some video to Simon Gold, which I also integrated in one of my videos there, from New Zealand, I think so. Yeah, where you was telling us something that we should have a good competition, and you would also like to be there, and so on.
Yeah. I did that out in the parking lot of my office. It was all snowy, and you guys were having fun. So no, that's good. Now I've also seen videos of you flying the Alps. So are these the French Alps, or the Italian Alps? What Alps are we talking about?
Different areas in the Alps. Last year I made one video where I traveled by glider a little bit. There I flew in the Austrian Alps and the German Alps. But I would say I've only about 10 flying days in the German and Austrian Alps. So I'm not really experienced in this area. And then I was twice in southern France. That's the area where most of the Germans and Europeans are flying, because it's a little bit easier there, and the season is a little bit longer, so you can start earlier in the year, and also in perhaps mid of September you can have great flights there. This is, I would say, one of the greatest areas to start also flying in the Alps. And then last year I was at the E-Glide competition in Varese. I don't know how to spell it in English. It's in Italy, above these great lakes. You're flying above Lago di Como and so on. So there are great areas where you can have a good vacation also on the ground. And it was from the scenery, it was really fantastic there as well. And with the electric gliders, we enjoyed it a lot, but it's not always easy at the end of the season to fly there in the mountains. And then also to have the electrical motor, it is not getting easier with this, and it's not getting safer. I would say it's more that you push more and harder, and then just take the engine, the motor, if you want to have some more meters above the mountain, so that you can make a turn and so on. It's also stressful somehow, but a lot of fun.
Yeah. For me, I love the stress of gliding when, you're thinking, oh, I might land out in a field and then my wife is going to be mad that she has to, I'm going to be late for dinner or something. But that's fun. That kind of stress is fun. What's not fun is you're in the middle of the mountains and you think, I have no place to land. And that's fear, and that's not fun. Fun stress of, I might be inconvenienced. That's great. But fear itself is not fun. So, the goal is that we push it to as much as we can to have fun, but not to get to the fear stage of things, where we're putting ourselves at risk. So you've flown all these different places. If you had to make a list, what would be the top 3 places that you would still love to go to and fly someday?
Top 3. I would pick South Africa. Most probably New Zealand.
Well, you've already been there. Goal. You've already been there.
Yeah. Okay. So not
so the new places.
New places. Okay. Chile.
Yes.
Would be at the highest priority. US, America as well. Your place, your playground, and. I don't know which other place.
I'm just happy that you said my place. So we're good. You're invited. You have a guest bedroom at my house, and come fly in Nephi, Utah.
Thank you. Yeah, I think there are some other places which we don't know that they even exist. So perhaps even Japan, Indonesia. I think there are great countries where you can try to fly gliders, but we don't know if it is fun or good, or how it looks like there and so on. So I think there are some on a list which might be interesting for the future as well, but we don't know yet.
Yeah. Now, what are your plans for this season? Where are you planning on flying this year? So this year is 2022.
This year, perhaps I will drive to southern France at the beginning of the season, let's say 4 weeks or so. But it's not completely safe if I will do so. Then at Easter, we have a small competition in our club. Usually I was at in at a first competition, but this year, because my club want to host a small competition for the club members, I think it is more fun to join them as well. Then I will be in Sweden at the Grand Prix, sailplane Grand Prix, qualifying sailplane Grand Prix. Afterwards, I will fly the German nationals in club class. And then perhaps at the beginning of August, I will be in Bosnia and Herzegovina for another sailplane Grand Prix. But let's see if everything works also with the pandemic, and if I have the time and if I want to fly so many competitions. But also the Grand Prix competition task, they are somehow different to the normal competitions, and also it's like a family. You're there with some friends, with a smaller group of pilots sitting there and being there at different restaurants and so on in this group. And it is just a lot of fun, and it doesn't feel like a real international competition.
Yeah, sounds like fun. Well, I'll tell you what, all of us fans of yours, we hope that you fly a whole bunch and that you take a lot of great videos. So, good luck with all those. Let's keep going to now your own glider. So just, I think recently, within the last couple of years, you acquired an LS3. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. About a little more than 1 year ago, I bought an LS3 because I tested an LS3 from my team partner who was flying with me at the World Gliding Championships last year. And there I wanted to have a good glider to fly with him together. and I found it really interesting, the LS3, because you have the flaps as well. And so it is not really a club glass glider anymore. The performance is much better. You can also fly faster with this glider and so on. So comparing it to the standard Libelle, which I owned some years ago, it is a big step in between. So it's more fun.
I have three. Yeah, I have three very close friends that have LS3s, and they fly great and they love them.
Yeah, it's really an amazing glider for when you consider that this glider is really old. Mine is from 1977, and but with a new paint job and retrofit some winglets and new avionics and everything. It is a great glider. Together with my brother, I also have an ASD29, so I can choose which glider I want to fly. But
What a terrible problem to have.
no, I really want to fly the LS3 because there are still some points to optimize to seal some parts better and so on. So the performance was not at the point I wanted to have this glider at the walls, I would say. But there are still some small areas where I can improve the glider. And,
So my friends, they did some wing fillets, at the root of the wings. Have you done any modifications to where your wings attach to the fuselage?
There, at the flap, at the fairing at the flap there, I also have this mylar sealing because that's really necessary. But I need to make a new one and so on. They get destroyed really quick when you rig the glider often and so on. So
our longtime sponsor of the show, the Soaring Academy, is engaged in nonprofit outreach work with local area veterans and also with young people for the STEM programs at their top-notch glider port facility just outside of Los Angeles, nestled near the north side of the San Gabriel Mountains. They also have a fantastic flight school and are continuing to turn out great glider pilots every month. If you like to donate to their nonprofit initiatives or learn more about their flight school, go to soaringacademy.org or check them out on Instagram at Soaring Academy.
One of the first videos I ever saw of yours was you flying a vintage historic glider. I know you've got one where you flew a 1938 something. You also flew an ASK-13.
Yes.
These are, I don't know how you really describe them. These are open cockpit gliders. And so, I mean, you're sitting in the wind and they're just amazing. I think you maybe even did it off of a winch. What's it like flying these, gliders that are 90 years old?
It's a lot of fun, especially with the open cockpit, because when you look to the outside and make a steep turn and so on, it is more freedom than sitting in a closed canopy. That's really amazing, this feeling. And if you do some more fun, perhaps even a little bit of turns and not really aerobatics, but some fun kind of stuff, and then it is great, especially if the weather is not too good and you don't miss a good cross-country day, then it is perfect to fly. And also I flew with this ASK-13 some years ago with friends, have no experience with a glider, and it is great because they don't get sick in the air because they are sitting outside in the airflow. So if you have a friend with you who is not familiar with the air movements and is flying a glider for the first time, and you are thermaling, circling in a bad thermal, then some people might get sick and motion sick, or I don't know how to call it. And in an open cockpit, it is a lot better.
Okay, but I could see how if you're sitting behind them and you're in an open cockpit and they get sick, that could actually get really messy quick.
This video was there. I was not the pilot. The girl in front of me was the pilot, and I was just flying with this glider because it's my first gliding club. I'm now in a different one, but still there I pack parachutes and so on. My first gliding club. There I just made one of the last flights, because this was also the glider where I made my first solo flight, but with a closed canopy on this specific ASK 13. And yeah, so there are a lot of emotions also in this glider, and they sold it because they wanted to have some more modern glider for the training.
Yeah. Any of these vintage gliders, were you ever able to actually get into a thermal and climb, or is it pretty much just a glide because the performance is pretty limited?
With the ASK 13 and also with the K8 and so on, it is not a problem. There I made also my 50-kilometer flight with the K8 when I was in the training, and so with these type of gliders it's good. But the one which I flew in Czech Republic at the HPH factory, this one was so, let's say, bad from the aerodynamics and so on. So there it is really hard to get a climb, and I messed it up. I think it would have been possible, but I was flying too fast. I thought, I need to fly, let's say, 60 or 80 kilometers an hour, but this glider can fly much slower, and the drag is already very high when you fly so fast with this one. So, and also the communication with the pilot in this open cockpit, and I think he didn't speak English so well, so it was really hard to communicate. And there
you should have tried German with him.
Yeah, perhaps. There I thought with and also this glider was so lightweight, and you couldn't jump out of the glider because of the higher wing and so on. So we had no parachute with us, and this combination was some kind of sketchy to fly such an old glider and without parachute and so on.
So one of the things that I really respect about you is that you have some videos where you share openly mistakes that you have made in the past. So I've also done that on a couple of videos. One of mine is called something like 2 turns that almost killed me or something. And that video might not look very dramatic, but those were 2 turns that really could have killed me. And I wanted to share it with others. And you've been very open yourself about some mistakes you've made. Are you willing to talk about some of those videos and kind of what has been the response from people that have watched those videos?
Yeah, recently I uploaded a video when I made an outlanding at a competition with my standard leap belt some years ago, I think 4 years ago. And this outlanding was really not a perfect example how to make an outlanding. It was everything
it got
you
my
can
heart
do
beating.
wrong. Everything you can do wrong, I made there. But luckily, it ended good, and I was on the ground. Everything was okay on the glider and me. So yeah, this video I uploaded 4 years ago on YouTube, and it was one of the first videos when I noticed. You really need to take care what you upload on YouTube as well, because there were so many people, so many comments which said you cannot fly gliders and you need to stick to a safety altitude and so on. And it also gets really close to you if so many bad comments are there and so on. And that's why I didn't want to react to this video directly afterwards. I had planned it, but then I didn't do. And then, now in the wintertime, you know as well that you don't have so much content, and then it's great to reuse some videos as well. And I thought this is one which might help others as well.
Yeah.
And also the response was really great in the comment section. So I think such videos really helps us a lot, everyone. And it is also good to upload, let's say, bad flying videos if you don't get into trouble with some FAA or things like
I've been kind of quiet the last couple of years.
Yeah, it is really hard sometimes. Also, how do you cope with these, let's say, bad comments, or when some of your viewers don't like what you're doing?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the answer is I agree with them almost all the time. So many of my haters, they're like, hey, look at those sausage fingers. How do you even fit in the cockpit? So
Wow.
I'm like, yeah, actually, you're right. So, I mean, obviously they're being rude, but for the most part, when they're talking about the flying and the gliding, I have personally put up some videos that of doing some maneuvers that I would not do anymore. And so, the question is do you take it down? I was maybe a little bit more aggressive in my younger years, shooting through mountain gaps or something like that. And it was really fun and really thrilling, but it's like, is that really a great representation of our sport? And it's like, no, that's when you're at the extreme. And I recognize that. And so a lot of it is, there are a lot of obscure, mean people on the internet. And if you're going to post, personal content, then you should expect that there's going to be some backlash. And, don't post it on the internet if you're not willing to, have a couple of haters. But let's go back to your video where you talk about, that landing. I watched that about a week ago, and I really had some pucker in my seat, watching the very last time when you thought you caught a thermal and you turned away from the field. I'm like, no, don't do it, and stuff. But the way that you then posted and you made comments on it showed, I guess, a level of respect and willingness to learn from your mistakes and share your mistakes. And so, my guess is, and it sounds like that, you weren't getting a lot of hate comments from that video. I do have to, I'm going to put you on the spot. So this has been a really easy video, but I'm going to put you on the spot on something. You made a video, and again, you could do the exact same thing back to me with some of my videos, but you made a video in Bosnia where you were in a competition, and it looked like so much fun. And you were low on the terrain, low and slow on the terrain. And it just looked like so much fun. But also as a pilot, I was thinking the margins are incredibly low, in terms of, having a problem. Did you get a lot of backlash from that video? And,
Yes.
and what did you maybe learn from it? But again, I loved watching it, but it was pretty dramatic.
This was really one, I would say, the video which got the most emotional comments, and also some really friends texted me via WhatsApp and so on, that I can't do it, and that especially I should not upload such a video and so on. So this was one thing which was where I realized perhaps this is really not the best to fly like this and to post a video about it. But then, in such a video, you cannot see everything. The field of view is not completely to the right side where the valley is. Most of the time, it was really easy to glide out there, and also if you don't know the glider, I was flying there quite slow, and I was really close to the ridge, and I was slow, and these two things are not safe. And the margin was not great, but I was flying there or I was stuck there in this, let's say, valley, and trying to catch a thermal, and the thermals died. There was nothing really left, and then I tried this ridge. I dumped all my water ballast. It was completely dry, and this ASG-29 with 18-meter wingspan, and without water ballast, it's so lightweight, and also the minimum speed is quite slow. So I still had at least 20 kilometers an hour margin there on the stall, on the speed between stall speed and my flying speed. So.
Yeah, and it looked like the wind was very consistent, and so you weren't gusty or anything like that. Sometimes the mountains can be easy, and that was one of the easier days. Not that it was easy to get out, but it was easy to stay up, it sounds like.
Yes. And I had a look at the weather previously a lot, because the thermals died, and the wind conditions were really consistent. So I thought, well, let's try it. And then you get into this flow where you don't think it is dangerous. You just want to continue. You want to get back home somehow. And you don't think it is really dangerous. It's just fun to fly there really low at the ridge. There I didn't think so much anymore than after the first, let's say, 5 or 10 minutes on the ridge. I just continued like I did previously. And then I also cut out some parts when I made some eighths at the ridge to get up a little bit more. But also with this video, you learn so much, because if you don't publish a video, you think, yeah, what I was flying there, it was all fine. But if you publish the video and everyone says it is, you can't do this, and then you really think about it, and next time perhaps next time you won't do the same. So I think it is also good to learn for myself.
Now, thank you for sharing that and your humility about it and willingness to learn. Let's talk about the 3 highest viewed gliding videos on the internet. And you are the first 2, and I'm the third one. And so let's start with the title of this video of yours. It's Spectacular Glider Touchdown in Rain, and it has been viewed 22 million times. And I can tell you that's not 22 million glider pilots that have watched it. That have been probably 975,000 are non-glider pilots that have seen that. So it's a great video. It's only 2 minutes, 19 seconds. Yeah. And tell us, what city is this that you're landing in?
It's called Pavullo. It's in Italy, and it was at the first e-glide competition. There I was flying the LS-8E Neo from DG, directly from the factory. And
okay, yeah. All right. So that's the place. And to put it into perspective, so Stefan and Stefan and I, we still release videos, and some of the videos that we release will only get 7,000 to 10,000 views. Others, for whatever reason, wins the cosmic lottery, and it then gets to 22 million views. So in your mind, what in the world, why did this video get so many views? I've got some ideas, but I want to hear from you, your ideas first. Why did this video go above and beyond?
So first of all, this video was easy to watch for everyone. So the viewer doesn't need to know anything about gliders. And the scenery, it was, a little bit close to buildings. Also with this slight rain on the windshield, it looks somehow cool. And some compared it also with Microsoft Flight Simulator and so on. So the scenery and the picture was really great, and the action was also, let's say, dramatic. And then at the end, it was a completely smooth landing, and this contrast was great. But yeah, I didn't plan anything for this video, and I didn't want to publish this video previously, but then I had seen this footage, and then I thought, just upload it. And
here you are. Yeah. The thing that I think is for whatever reason, the coloring of the video, both of the thumbnail and of the video itself, is very vibrant. Even though it's a darker, overcast day, you have very vibrant colors. Did you do post-editing color correction on that? And even what kind of camera did you use on that one?
The camera was a DJI Osmo Action. It's an action cam from the drone manufacturer. It's comparable to the GoPro these days. And I'm not sure if I changed anything with the colors. Perhaps the saturation a little bit, but nothing else. It was just cut at the beginning, and at the end was one of the videos which were really easy to edit. But the thumbnail was edited a lot. They really try to get the most out of this thumbnail. Usually I don't focus so much on thumbnails, but this time I tried a little bit more. And I'm not completely sure why it got these million views. Of course, it was cool to watch, and it was also good to share because it's a shorter video. Also, some people or a lot of people are discussing, they are commenting on this video if it is a simulator or not, perhaps even if it is legal or not to fly there so close to the buildings. And also for the algorithm, it was great because I had some other videos around this video which were more popular, and I got more views than these 10,000 views. So other videos helped as well. And also, I think your videos helped a lot in this time because they also got more views. So it was not, I had 2 videos which were watched a lot of times, and you also had a video at the same time performing really good.
Aerox, the #1 in portable and engineered aviation oxygen systems, your source for FAA-approved oxygen masks and portable oxygen systems, and now introducing the Aerox Pro 2 Plus Flight Bag portable oxygen system. Small, lightweight, and simple to use, the Pro 2 Plus is perfect for the occasional user who wants the flexibility to access higher altitudes without worry about flying impaired. Now available at Aerox distributors and at aerox.com. So remember, our friends at Aerox, engineered for aviators.
Yeah, so it was. We were kind of YouTube was cross promoting each other at the same time. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the first one. The second, and we're going to go back to. We're already at 54 minutes into this, but hey, this is great. Do you have a few more minutes? Because I'm really enjoying this. Okay,
Yeah,
wonderful. I'm loving this. Okay, so the second most popular video is again one of yours, and this one took some work. This one took some preparation. So it's the world's first air-to-air aero tow by hand. So this is where, Stefan, thinks, hey, I'm going to put my arm out the small little tiny window and I'm going to try to grab this flying, it looks like it's soft. So if it hits your glider, it's okay. But basically you're trying to grab a tow line from a tow plane that's flying in front of you. So that way it can tow you up while you're just holding it. And that one has 6.4 million videos. So here's one where it definitely took some preparation and you pulled it off. People enjoyed it, and it looks like you didn't crash and die. So what was that like?
Yeah, it was a dream of mine to do such a stupid thing. I think it was really a dream during night. And I had this stupid idea to try to fly really close to this rope and grab it with the hand. I was not completely sure if it is really if I can withstand the force to make level flight or so. This was more a joke and also a little bit of clickbait in the title, but that's sometimes you need to do this with YouTube stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Yeah.
And of course, I did some preparations. I needed to convince my dad that he will tow me because he was flying the plane. And then we had, I think, two days, 2 evenings where we flew in really calm air. So there were no thermals and so on. So it's really easy to catch this tow rope. And at the beginning, we had problems because it was oscillating or turning up and down and so on.
Yes.
So it wasn't really possible to grab. And then we tried to improve it a little bit. We put around the rope some foam so that the metal rings are covered and won't damage my canopy. I had to prepare it really. And then it was great that this video was also watched sometimes, but
again, 6.4 million views, and that's only a 3 minute and 30 second video. So if you haven't seen these videos, just do a quick search. By the way, and this may be because of my personal settings or whatever, but when I type in just the word gliding in YouTube, your video, the spectacular glider touchdown is one of the first recommended. And so, that's kind of fun. And then the third most popular video is my infamous air show video where I was asked to fly an impromptu air show performance, and I did not have the credentials or the permission from the FAA, and that resulted in a 7-month suspension, and I almost lost my license. But hey, the video has 5.5 million views, so at least I'm sharing what not to do. And that's the reason why I've been really quiet for the last couple of years, because even though I got my license back, it's been emotionally very difficult to go through that, because I fought that really hard, and eventually I just got stomped on. But
so much more important to be able to have the license and to fly glider than publish some videos for others. And I completely feel you with this video. And some weeks later, I also did a small performance at air show, and there it was a great help to know that you really need to take care of the regulations and everything. And with my other video, when I caught the tow rope in flight, you also are not sure if there is something, if it's completely legal, if it might be somehow illegal. Especially now, if you have a wider audience, you really take care and think twice before you upload a video. And it's something which is not so much fun anymore, I think. Also with the cloud clearances, and then someone says you should be a good example, fly safe, do everything correct, and so on. So the younger generation don't pick up with and do the same.
It sounds like you and I are saying the exact same thing, and that is number one, fly the right rules and don't break rules, and then number two, don't upload things. But if you're flying the rules and flying correctly, then there's nothing that you have to worry about. But just a quick FYI, at least to American pilots, when I was going through my debacle, I talked to the prosecutor. I became kind of friends with him, even though he was on the other side. And I asked him in a conversation, when all was said and done, I said, I really don't want to get in trouble again. And I said, if I'm too close to a cloud, can I get in trouble? He said, yes. I said, if I'm flying on a ridge line and I pass by a hiker, and so I'm within 500 or less feet of him, can I get in trouble? And he said yes. And I'm like, wait, what? And so it really shows you, not that they will definitely come down on you, but if we post things on the internet, if you pass by a hiker, be aware. The an FAA prosecutor has told me you can get in trouble for that. So whether you agree with that or not, just be very, very careful with what you do share on the internet. To everybody. And
you have commented on one of my Instagram, I think, videos or so, the same thing that I should take care with hikers and so on. And
that's because I cared about you. I wasn't trying to preach. I'm like, don't get in trouble.
It was great that you did so. And it's really something which is difficult with aviation things. On the road, when you drive a car and so on, there are really strict rules for everything. It is a lot easier, I would say. We have a lot of freedom when flying a glider. That's also true. But some rules are not so strict and not really well structured, or I don't know.
Agreed. Well, hey, that was kind of the bummer part of the of this podcast. That now we're all depressed and we're talking about getting in trouble. Let's end this on a positive, and let's talk the last portion of this about some of the tips and some of the tricks that you and I do when we are making videos that can help others to hopefully get their videos seen as well. And I want to start with this preface, and that is. And Stefan already said this, or Stefan. I'm still trying to get your name right. We are not competing against each other. So, my views are not competing against Stefan's. When I take a look at my analytics on my videos, it was not, when I get millions of views, it was not because somebody was typing in, I want to see a flying video, I want to see a glider video. Not at all. Very few of my views are actually pilots or somebody interested even in gliding. What it is for whatever reason, the YouTube gods have determined that this is interesting content, and I'm going to suggest it to somebody. And, and we're going to talk about some of the tricks. If they find it interesting and compelling, and A, they click on it, and B, they spend time looking at it, so they don't just then leave. And then number 3, if they like or comment, then YouTube says, hey, people like this, I'm going to show more of this, and they're going to keep suggesting it. So let's start with you. What are a couple of the tricks to get people to even click on the video and to watch it?
Yeah, first of all, it's the thumbnail and the title, which is really important. But I'm also not the best example for these type of things. I should focus.
Hey, you're number one. What you're doing is working. So.
Yeah, but it's also not perfect and could be better, could be even better. So this is the first impression, so that someone clicks on this content. And of course, you also need to have these hashtags, or I don't know how to call them, these keywords. But then at the end, it is important to have good content in the first perhaps 10 or 30 seconds as well, so that if they start watching it, they continue this video and don't click on another video then. Of course, it is important to have good content, to have perhaps a story. It doesn't need to be filmed really professional. I think there I went a little bit too far also with the Namibia videos. It is great to see other type of videos as well and good quality videos, but for YouTube it doesn't matter so much. So you can even take your smartphone or your action cam and just film and talk to it. And I think nowadays it's also more important to have a story behind it. So that you're not only publishing a video with some music behind. It is better if you have some kind of story telling something. And
Excellent. Now, you mentioned the thumbnail, and I would totally agree with this. Just be aware, when you upload a video on YouTube, they give you, they pick 3 thumbnails that you can choose from. However, you can upload a custom thumbnail. And so my guess is that, at least with me, every single one of my thumbnails, what I've done is I've taken a screen capture of the video, and then oftentimes, like what you said, I will color enhance it, just to make it as perfect as possible. So that way you can have the perfect thumbnail to do it. So we highly recommend using a custom thumbnail, of the very best representation of that flight. What's the most compelling. So, all right, that's great. What about camera mounts? You do have a video where you do talk about how you do kind of camera mounts. Have you done very many camera mounts where it's mounted on the outside and inside, and you have different ones? Do you have 360? What about all this thing? Multiple cameras.
So most of the time I'm just using a GoPro or this DJI Osmo Action Cam inside the cockpit and filming the instrument panel like you do the same, I think. So because it is not affecting the glide performance of the glider, it doesn't distract anything on the airflow. And there's also something which is not really safe or not really legal to use, perhaps to mount the camera on the outside on, let's say, the wing or so. This might get you into trouble. I'm not completely sure if it does, but there you should take care. And some years ago, I mounted the action cam on the wing, a little bit more to the inside, and with a standard libel, there was a vortex generated by the action cam, and I really was feeling it on the elevator that there were some other air movement. So take care about this. You can already make great content, great videos when filming in the cockpit. You can use even your phone or another camera to film outside of the small window. Then also the selfie stick kind of things, also with a 360 camera. You can do it and don't need to mount anything outside of the glider. How do you also with you most of the time you also have the camera inside of the cockpit and don't mount it on the outside? Do you have any good mounting options there?
Well, yeah, I probably will start doing more outside camera shots. I've got some really exciting things I'm planning for this year where they're going to be interesting and I think exciting flights, but they're not going to be very long. And so I don't need to worry about the performance problem. So at least with my videos, I'm hoping to have a lot more outside shots. Both on the tail and on the wing, and maybe on the fuselage. And I agree with you. You have to be very careful about how you mount it and, the safety of it and, the legalities of it. But I've not done very many. I've done a couple where it's on the outside and it's fun, but it depends on what your flight is going to be. I mean, quite frankly, for me, when I go, the reason why I have videos is just because I go flying and I happen to take a video camera with me. If something interesting happens, I'll post it. If not, I'm sure you as well, that we've got a bunch of videos where it's not interesting. And so we're not going to share it,
Yeah, a lot of hard drives with a lot of material.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It's a huge amount of storage space which you need for these 4K videos.
So something that I used to do is I used to do it where I'd start the camera, stop the camera when I thought something's going to happen, and now I pretty much just mount a camera. I start playing it before the launch, and it just goes the entire 4 or 5, 6 hours. And if something happens, I can take a little snippet, or I can do the whole thing. So my recommendation is try to videotape the entire flight, and GoPros. Oftentimes they'll overheat. There's other problems. Battery is a problem. It might last, if you're lucky, an hour and a half, but you can do external batteries with a USB into the camera. And that's how I'm achieving, 6 or 7 hour flights. Also, you can get a bigger HD card. So that way, you can actually have enough. You can film it in 4K and still have a really long flight. So that would be a recommendation. So film everything, and sometimes it might be interesting. I have a couple of landouts where I wish I filmed it, but I was so stressed low trying to get high, and then at the end I'm landing out. I wasn't going to be messing with starting a camera at that moment. I wished I would have had it running, beforehand. So you never know. You might be flying and all of a sudden you have an eagle flying right with you. Well, if you're trying to turn on a camera at that moment, you've already lost it. So, I mean, my recommendation is film everything.
Wings and Wheels has been serving the soaring and sport aviation community for over 30 years. They hands down have the largest and most comprehensive inventory of sailplane and soaring supplies in North America, and they ship globally. Nearly everything you'll find on their site is in stock and ready for same-day shipping. Wings and Wheels is the exclusive American representative for HPH sailplanes. Be sure to check out the Twin Shark, their latest launch. They're also now the exclusive distributor in North America for the new Just Soaring Glider Sim Pro. The team has thousands of hours of flying experience in gliders and airplanes, staffed by Adam, Kelly, Julie, and Sean. A friendly voice will answer when you call or email them. Check them out at wingsandwheels.com.
And, the bits are free,
Yeah. So I am trying not to film everything because it is so much work in the post-production to pick the sequences which are interesting and so on, and also the storage which you need if you really store everything you recorded. But what is really great also just for your personal experience, and you can learn a lot when you mount camera and have a look afterwards how the clouds look like, which decision you made, and so on. So it is also for the learning process of glider flying. It's really interesting to put a camera into your cockpit and just use it for yourself as well. So you don't need to have a big YouTube channel you should try to do this. But there are also other things which can help a lot when you film these videos.
Okay. When I've got a new video, I'm ready to release it, and I've done everything. I've optimized the title, the description, everything like that. I will save it as a private video, or actually a scheduled video. And what that does is it gives enough time once it's been uploaded for then the processing to occur for the high definition. If you just release it immediately, the first people that see the video is only in low definition, and so they're going to be more likely to not watch it as long. So a tip is give it some time before it actually releases for it to then process. So when people are watching it, it's in the HD. Second thing, and I saw this on a tip somewhere, is take a look at when your videos get the most views during the day, and that's when you should be launching new videos. So for me, it's 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time is when you're going to see my videos actually releasing. And it might be different for you and your videos. But so I actually launch it at 9 a.m. because that's when my videos are getting the most views. If you think about it, in Europe, it's around 5 o'clock in the evening. So we got Americans and Europeans looking at it. So I do that. The other thing I do is as soon as I launch my video, I will then share it on Facebook with my friends. I got a couple of friends on Facebook, and I'm like, hey, quick, watch this video. It just came out. And so YouTube algorithm is seeing, okay, it just launched. We've got people coming from other websites to see it, and it helps to maybe get a little bit more critical mass. So it doesn't always work. I mean, I've put out some videos in the last month, and I was really excited about them. And, they've gotten maybe 7,000 or 10,000 views. But it just helps a little bit more for possibly the spark to happen within the algorithm where YouTube says, I'm going to really start, blowing this up. So not everyone blows up, but you'll see. Then my last one that I'm going to recommend is you don't know what YouTube is going to like. So for example, Stefan said the spectacular glider touchdown in the rain. He wasn't even going to put it on. That's the most popular gliding video in the world. One of my videos, I was behind a slow tow plane, and I'm like, I wasn't, but I think that's gotten 3 or 4 million views, and I wasn't even going to post it. So you don't know what's gonna be viral. People have been sitting here for an hour and 15 minutes going, that's all they have to say. But yeah, that's the best we got, guys. We're doing our best. Let's finish this off with any final words from you. So anything that you want to tell anybody, or anything that you're excited coming up for, or let's finish off with what you have to share with us.
It was great to talk with you. I only have seen your videos, and now really talking with you directly is great. I hope that we meet somehow in the United States, perhaps this year, next year. Would be fun to fly together, to do some videos together. And to all others, thanks for listening. And also, we hope that you get into filming some gliding content, publish it on social media, or send it to your friends, and so on. Would be great for the whole gliding community. And
fantastic. All right. Well, hey, you've said it and I've said it, so let's make this a reality. So it sounds like both Stefan and I want him to come and fly out of Nephi. This year is going to be completely crazy for both of us, but let's make the commitment now that we start working towards 2023. Let's get you out to Utah. We'll both make some videos together. And should we make that a reality?
Yes, this would be a big dream, a huge dream.
Oh, that'd be fun. All right. We're going to make it happen. So we just said it here.
But then you need also to come here to Germany someday and fly here.
I so want to. I'm actually in France in April of this year, but unfortunately not flying. But I will get there, and I'll fly with you too. Right. Hey, been very wonderful getting to know you, and I wish you the best, and be safe, and looking forward to your videos. So goodbye, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and I hope you continue to enjoy this podcast. So thank you for Chuck and everybody else at Soaring the Sky, giving us this opportunity. And we wish you all a very happy and safe 2022. Bye.
Bye.
Hi everyone, Sergio from Soaring Master here, with tips and advice about soaring and cross-country flying. Flying a new sailplane type is always a great moment. And in order to make this a safer event, let's talk about good practices for every flight with a new sailplane type. First things first, read the sailplane's manual thoroughly. Know its limitations and specifics by heart. Talk to other pilots who have already flown the type before and ask for their impressions about the aircraft handling. Make a careful external inspection. If the sailplane has just been assembled, make a positive control check. The first flight should be done without water ballast in a nice day without strong crosswinds. Take your time and do some cockpit familiarization. Relax and accommodate yourself, as it might be a more complex type of sailplane, for instance with flaps, or with more complex avionics. Use a checklist. Take your time to get acquainted with the cockpit layout and instruments panel. Take your time for preparations, and then take the sailplane to the flight line. Any rush should be designed to stop. As you are not acquainted with the sailplane response yet, be gentle with the commands. Large amplitude inputs, mainly with the longitudinal axis, should be avoided. Try to maintain a proportional approach. Apply the inputs proportional to the desired response. Never overshoot your command input and wait for the sailplane's response. Once airborne, leave the landing gear down until your tow is over and then retract it, so you can get acquainted with the force needed to command it. Choose a suitable area and explore the low-speed handling of your sailplane. Gradually reduce speed, identify the pre-stall warnings, like buffeting or any other vibration. Perform a stall for you to get to know what the sailplane's behavior is. Test the air brakes and see their effect on pitch attitude and airspeed control. After this, enjoy the ride. Enjoy the sailplane's handling and performance. When the time comes for the approach, focus on your speed control during the entire process. If you have done everything mentioned here, there shall be no handling surprises by then, and you have already explored the aircraft handling and its envelope. If you are going to fly a vintage sailplane for the first time, be aware that the speeds involved will be very different from what you were used to with last ships. Ballooning after the landing flare due to excess speed is a common error, and a flight in a vintage twin-seater is a must in these cases. I wish you happy flying with lots of different sailplane types. See you in the next one, guys. For more tips, follow me on Instagram @SoaringMaster or check my website, soaringmaster.com.
If you would like to say hi and let us know where you are enjoying the podcast, we would love to hear from you. If you are a glider pilot and want to share your aviation journey, contact us at chuck@soaringthesky.com or send us a message on our website at soaringthesky.com and Chuck will get in touch with you. We hope you join us next time for another soaring adventure here on Soaring the Sky, a Glider Pilots podcast. Soaring the Sky is written and produced by Chuck Fulton, co-producer Mitch Thompson. Original music for the podcast was written and produced by Kim Spangler. Graphic design for the podcast was created by Zachary Fulton. Voiceover work was done by Michelle Perez.